everybody! If you don't know me already, my name is Cheezy Cornelius, and today I'm going to tell you a story about Rapunzel. She was a princess known for her long, magical golden hair. As a child, Rapunzel was abducted by a wicked witch and locked away in a remote tower. So take a seat and let's get started. Once upon a time, there was a man and his wife. They had wanted a child for a long time, but could never have one. One day, a miracle happened, and the woman gave her husband the news they had both long wished for. They were going to have a baby. The man and his wife lived in a house with a small window in a kitchen, overlooking a beautiful garden of fresh vegetables and flowers. Unfortunately, there was a high wall of barbed wire all around it, and no one had ever dared enter because it belonged to a powerful witch who everyone was terrified of. One day, the woman was looking out onto the garden when she saw a bed filled with fresh radishes. They looked so enticing that she began to want some. This went on for days. She knew that she couldn't get the radishes, so she started to lose her strength and grow weaker day by day. Her husband was worried about her and asked, "What is the matter, my dear wife?" She replied, "I feel like I will die unless I eat some of those radishes that grow in the witch's garden." The man, who loved his wife very much, thought that he would rather get caught by the witch than lose his beloved wife. He waited for night to fall so he could climb over the wall into the garden. Unseen by anyone, he quickly plucked a handful of radishes and took them to his wife. So she made a fresh radish salad and ate to her heart's content. But it tasted so good that the next day she longed for twice as many as she had before. The man had to climb over the wall again if he wanted his wife to feel well. So he went at twilight again, but as he was climbing back, he saw the witch standing in front of him. He was terribly frightened as she cried, "How dare you climb into my garden and steal my radishes?" To which he replied, "Please don't judge me too hard. I did it for my wife. She saw your radishes out of the window and started longing for them so badly that she would have died if she could not have had some to eat." Then the witch said, "If this is the truth, you may have as much radishes as you like, on one condition. You must give me your child. I will raise her like my own." The man was so scared that he promised the witch whatever she asked for. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't sound like a fair deal to me. Anyway, back to the story. When the time came, the child was born and the witch appeared. She gave the child the name Rapunzel, which means radish, and she took her away as the witch and the husband agreed upon. Rapunzel grew more and more beautiful with every passing year. On her 12th birthday, the witch locked her up in a high tower in the woods. The tower had neither stairs nor a door, but only a small window above. When the witch wished to be let in, she would cry, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel had beautiful long hair which shone like gold and which no one had ever cut. When she heard the voice of the witch, she would loosen her plaits and let down her hair until it touched the ground so the witch could climb up. They lived that way for years. Rapunzel's beauty was locked in the tower away from the world outside. Then one day, a prince was riding through the woods and passed by the tower. He heard a voice singing so sweetly that he stood still and listened. It was Rapunzel, who felt so lonely in the tower that she would often spend her time singing. The prince wanted to meet the girl who sang so beautifully, but he couldn't find a door to enter the tower. So he went back home, but no matter what, he couldn't forget the girl's voice. So the next day, the prince turned back to the tower, and as he was standing there gazing at the tower, he saw the witch come up, and he listened while she called out, "Oh Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And what happened after that really surprised him. but he could finally see the girl who the beautiful voice belonged to. Then he saw how Rapunzel let down her long hair and how the witch climbed up the tower. The next day, at dusk, he went to the tower and cried, "Oh Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." She let down her hair and the prince climbed up. But when she saw that a man had come into the room instead of the witch, she became really scared. But the prince began to speak so kindly and told her how her singing had entered into his heart, and how he could have no peace until he had seen who the beautiful voice belonged to. Rapunzel forgot her terror when he asked her to be his wife. She thought to herself that he was a young and handsome man, and that she liked him much better than she liked the witch. She put her hand into his and agreed to leave the tower with him. She said, "I would go with you, but I don't know how to get out." And then she thought, "When you come, bring a rope each time and I will make a ladder. When it's ready, I will climb down the tower and you can take me away on your horse." They agreed that he should come to her every evening as the old witch came in the daytime. The witch knew nothing of this until one day Rapunzel said to her, "Mother Gothel, how is it possible that you climb up here so slowly and the prince climbs up in a moment?" "What is this I hear?" cried the witch. "I thought I had hidden you away from the world, and now you have betrayed me." In her anger, she cut Rapunzel's beautiful hair and took her to a desert place where she left her to live out her days in great misery. That same evening, the prince came to the tower and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." But this time, the witch let the hair down, and the prince climbed up, but instead of seeing his dearest Rapunzel, he found to his horror the witch looking at him with glittering eyes. "You will never see Rapunzel again," she told him, and with those words, she pushed the prince out of the tower, and he fell on thorns which blinded him. Left without his sight, the prince wandered through the woods for months, until one day he heard someone singing. He didn't know where he was, nor could he see where she was, but he was sure that it was his darling Rapunzel singing. He followed the voice that led him to his beloved Rapunzel. When she saw him, Rapunzel dropped the buckets of water which she was holding, and then they fell into each other's arms and cried, happy to be together after such a long time. One of Rapunzel's tears fell onto his skin, and in that moment a miracle happened. The prince could see again. "What happened to your hair?" he asked as he touched her hair. But before Rapunzel could even answer him, another magic happened and her hair grew back, long and shining as it had always been. The prince took her to his kingdom, where he was received with great joy, and there they lived happily ever after. Okay everybody, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and remember, my name is Cheezy Cornelius, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!